A soldier tossed a bomb into the forest, and the blast shattered the silence of the island's horizon. One after another, bombs rained down, turning the entire island into a sea of fire. Just as the pilot was gloating over the destruction, a massive tree trunk came flying from the distance, piercing the helicopter with pinpoint accuracy. As the chopper went down in a plume of thick smoke, the soldiers in the neighboring aircraft watched in horror. Before they could even process what happened, a colossal hand swatted through the air, sending their helicopter into a violent tailspin. As the spinning slowed, the soldiers found themselves staring into a massive primate-like face. The beast let out a deafening roar, and one terrified soldier fell straight into its gaping maw. It was then they realized this mountain-sized creature was a giant ape, Kong. He stood there with such presence that his massive frame literally blotted out the sun. The soldiers stood frozen, mouths agape. They had never seen an animal this large and never expected to encounter such a titan here. Recovering from the shock, the soldiers, under the command of Colonel Packard, attempted to encircle the beast. They opened fire, but the bullets didn't cause the damage they expected. The giant simply raised his arm to shield himself, which only fueled his rage. Roaring, he threw a punch that smashed a helicopter right out of the sky, causing it to explode on impact. He then grabbed another aircraft, but the spinning rotors slashed his hand. Wincing in pain, he pulled back, and the damaged chopper began to spiral. Despite the pilot's best efforts to regain control, it eventually crashed into the jungle below. The giant let out another roar and glanced at the downed craft. As soldiers scrambled to rescue their wounded comrades, the beast crushed them under his massive foot. One helicopter managed to dodge his attack, and he took off in a dead sprint to chase it down. Packard ordered his remaining units to pursue and fire. Suddenly, the giant leaped into the air. Packard's pilot couldn't swerve in time and collided with another aircraft in midair. The giant slammed back onto the ground, kicking up a massive wall of dust. Packard's helicopter, severely damaged from the collision, crashed violently into the earth. The giant then turned his attention to the soldiers fleeing on foot. One soldier tried to hide with a group of scientists, but the scientists, fearing for their lives, bolted and left him behind. Before the soldier could react, the beast scooped him up along with the nearby equipment and tossed them into the sky. By sheer coincidence, the soldier hit another helicopter and was sucked into the rotors. Amidst a spray of blood, that aircraft was also disabled and plummeted into the forest. Colonel Packard narrowly survived the crash. As he struggled to crawl out of the wreckage, the beast grabbed the half-destroyed fuselage, along with the men still trapped inside, and hauled it away, leaving a speechless Packard behind. The giant then used the wreckage as a projectile, hurling it at another helicopter with deadly accuracy. As that craft burst into flames, the frenzied beast leaped up and smashed yet another. He grabbed the last remaining chopper with both hands, swung it in a wide arc, and used it to crush a second bird. The reinforced steel of the helicopters felt like wet paper in his hands, shredded in seconds. Packard watched in a daze, unable to believe his eyes. Through the smoke and flames, he saw the giant's furious eyes and heard his earth-shaking roar. This elite squad, led by Packard, had been tasked with escorting a team of scientists to Skull Island for research. Legend said the island was hidden inside a massive permanent storm system. The daring Packard had led his fleet of over a dozen helicopters straight into the eye of the storm. The closer they got, the more violent the turbulence became. As they entered the dark heart of the tempest, the instruments went haywire and the pilots lost control. Only Packard's calm commands kept the fleet from falling apart. Finally, they punched through the clouds, and the view opened up into a clear, breathtaking sky. The surviving aircraft emerged into a mysterious archipelago, the legendary Skull Island. The islands shimmered in the sunlight, surrounded by jagged, majestic mountains. As they flew over the beautiful landscape, the mood among the crew shifted to awe. The thrum of the rotors flushed thousands of birds into the sky. The soldiers began patrolling the island, dropping bombs, until the explosions awakened the god of Skull Island, Kong. After a display of pure, primal power that wiped out the entire fleet, Kong vanished back into the wilderness. Surveying the wreckage of his command, Colonel Packard swore a silent oath. He would have his revenge for his fallen brothers.